Hello everyone, I am Desubba. Today I am going to discuss Subaltern versus Scapeghostism studies. Subaltern studies was post-colonial and post-imperial theory. It is a part of postmodernism as well. After the post-colonial, this theory was developed in India. Those scholars who were involved in this theory, most of they lived abroad, though their content was India, and they had visited many places of the farmers. They examine the labor cost, labor place the farmers work, and interest, loan of the farmers. It is almost similar to Das Kapital. In Das Kapital, Karl Marx had visited factories, industries of England, and he collected information and about the labor. He collected information about labor, boarding house, living house, their standard of living, health issues, etc. And he wrote Das Kapital. One of my turning point of my philosophy comes from Das Kapital. When I was reading it, I found how the labor were treated at that time, how they fed, how was their living boarding house, and later on forced them to work 18 hours a day. It clicked in my mind, and I compared their life with our domesticated animals. We fed that animal and later on sacrificed to religion and kill them sometimes and sell in the market. Subaltern studies basic point was history must be right from the law. Ranjit Guha has written these points. The historiography of Indian nationalism has for a long time been dominated by elitism-colonist elitism and bourgeois nationalist elitism. The history of Indian nationalism is thus written up as a sort of spiritual biography of the Indian elites. What, however, historical writing of this kind cannot do is to explain Indian nationalism for us. In his last point, he has focused that Indian nationalism was not for subaltern people. Subaltern are those who were tribals who had no land, laborers who work in the factory, in the caste system, those are who consider as untouchable in the gender. Women were considered as a subaltern. It means those are who were in lower class, dominated and exploited position. The higher class people or the bourgeoisie use a gun of fear like banishment, boycott, confinement, domination, discrimination, exploitation, excommunication, physical violence, and harassment. These are a kind of a gun. In front of gun, people cannot speak because of fear. If that fear is moved, if that gun is moved, it means the 7 or 8 these the guns I have mentioned before create fear to their mind and force them to comply what the higher people want to do. From the scapeghostism point of view, I have said that these are the tools of scapegoat making. They make scapegoat from these tools. Even these tools apply to the higher class, bourgeoisie, capitalist. They cannot speak too because of these, the guns. Very important one argument was added in this context, that was, can subaltern speak, by Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak. She said subalterns are not able to speak themselves. They needed agencies, or on behalf of their side somebody has to speak because they cannot speak. Even the Gayatri Spivak cannot speak the voice of the subalterns because subalterns are subalterns. Even the Spivaks in front of these 7 guns, she cannot speak. In contrast with her idea, Michel Foucault said, to speak on behalf of subaltern is a violence of their speech. They have to speak themselves. These both ideas I rejected in my previous Fear Morphosis book and Scapeghostism book. What they are saying, it makes scapegoat again to the subalterns. First, they were scapegoated by bourgeoisie, capitalists and high class people because if they started to speak, if they started to ask for equality, then who does the lower class work? They took advantage from the subalterns and throw them. It means high class people or elite people use and throw to them. The best example I want to present here, suppose 5-year boy stands in front of father and mother. Boy is standing silently, not talking. He represents all the subalterns. He looks like fighting, crying, running, and disturbing because his body structure, hairstyle, clothes, the face looks like something happened. But still, he is not expressing what happened to them. In this condition, how the idea of Gayatri or how the idea of Michel Foucault speaks out because boy is silent. In practical way, the boy is silent because the fear of father and the mother. Until he feel comfort, he doesn't speak anything. Without speaking anything, no one can represent, no one can guess what had happened. Some clue must be need to find out. Without any clue, we cannot say, our father and mother cannot say that he was either fighting, stealing something, discussing, or crying, anything. What problem he has, parents cannot decide. To make him speak out, first step is cool down him and make him comfort. And this step we are always doing in our life, but we never notice it. First, we need to tell him, son, we are not going to punish, we are not going to do anything. Please tell us what happened to you. When son feel comfort means feel not fear of any punishment, and he started to say something. Oh, I steal something, I fight with something. Whenever the son speaks himself, then only parents, father or the mother, can represent or can solve his problem. Either they have to go to meet the friends or the parents or anywhere in the school, then they can explain, they can request, or they can pay some compensation and solve the problem. Our subalterns are the same position because they fear that they can be targeted by the 7 or 8 guns mentioned above. If that guns removed from their head, they can speak themselves. No one need to be represent to them. That's why I have argued that we need to create a hypothetical the place that is called free fear zone. It means all kind of these guns have to be removed and make them free. In that fear-free zone, they can speak themselves. No one has to be represent to them. This is the condition, and this important part was left by subaltern studies. And another point I want to say that all the subalterns are scapegoats, and all the scapegoats are not subalterns. If we go to see The Mahabharata, there is a case of Draupadi. If we go to see Ramayana, there is a case of Sita. In the West, if we see the Troy War, there is a case of Helen. All of these are not the subalterns, they were scapegoated. Even today, when we see some wars, some revolution, some the struggle, independence, democracy, republic, equality, and struggles, there is scapegoats, not the subalterns. It is my argument that history not only right from the law, history must be right from the scapegoat because large number of scapegoats had a big contribution and sacrificed their life, their family life, but they were always ignored. Their important role was not mentioned in any historiography. That is all injustice, and they have to get the justice. And justice is that history must be right from scapegoat point of view. That's why I contradicted to subaltern studies, and everyone has a examine or the filtering power. You can filter whether subaltern studies or the scapegoat studies is right way to write the history in the future. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you.